Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and my co-host,
Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. And hey, listen, guys, if you're new to the show, welcome. Hopefully I didn't scare you off too much with my loud-ass voice. But what we do in the show is we'll take a look at some of the movies coming out during the weekend, and we'll take a director, actor, genre, what have you, and we'll make a top 5 list according to that, and kind of honor that movie, and it will be on that pedestal for this entire episode. The cool thing about the show is that it's live, so we have no idea what the hell's going to come out of our mouths, and we don't know each other's list. And this week is pretty fucking tough. But before we begin, Brian, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
It's seen better days over here in where I live, but I don't need to disclose the information. Yeah, we are actually joined by a guest. And Brian, when was the last time we had a guest on?
The threequel films with Ash and Francesca, I think.
Jesus Christ, when was that?
March, brother.
I don't even remember when the episode was. So, yeah, it's been a long time since we've had a guest, and so we post these episodes or whatever, and then we might get comments, and by might, I mean literally one person will comment on our shit, which is fucking awesome because we had no idea anyone ever watches this garbage. So we actually have that one person that comments on our stuff, and I'm happy that he's here, and it's a good old Kenny B, man. What's going on, man?
What's up?
Yeah, he's a consistent commenter, and I have to give him props because I guess apparently no one likes us, or at least Kenny can stand us. He doesn't like us, he can stand us. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man. But Brian, what are we doing this week with our guest?
Top 5 R-rated comedies in honor of Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
Yeah, R-rated comedies, raunchy comedies. It's kind of like that lump thing because Mike and Dave need wedding dates is like it's like a prime example of what a raunchy comedy is. Like if you had someone that was like in cryogenic sleep for like 50 years, wakes up and he asks you like, "What's a raunchy comedy?" You fucking point your finger, then you flip it off and be like, "Oh yeah, it's that one." So yeah, we're doing R-rated comedies, raunchy comedies, because let's face facts. Most of my R-rated comedies are very raunchy. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this because I gotta tell you, man, my little brain was warped with raunchy comedies when I was like 9 or 10, and now I'm the way I am. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it. So let's go around the horn. Kenny, what do you think about raunchy comedies, and are you like a big fan of them?
I actually am. Like you just said, like when I was a younger kid, I remember my dad showed me Austin Powers.
Nice.
That fucking instantly, I showed all my friends. We were like the most knowledgeable kids like in school about like just fucked up stuff, and it just shaped my pervertedness and my sense of humor ever since then.
Hey, listen, when we get to my number one, you guys are going to realize the way I am, and you might like it or dislike me for that, but whatever the fuck. So
my number one actually disproves your thing that non-rated R things can't be raunchy.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay, so yeah.
Laugh at me for it though.
I'm not gonna laugh at you, man. Hey, listen, Brian fucking laughs at me all the time on this goddamn show. So, Brian, speaking of that, do you like raunchy comedies, sir? And why do you just hate life? Because I don't think Brian likes them.
I do love raunchy comedies. I love a good one, and the 5 that I put on my list are, in my opinion, 5 of the best that I've ever seen. The cool thing is, most of them are from different decades. I didn't put one from, if I put one from the 70s, that would have been much better, but there's only one raunchy comedy from the 70s, well, R-rated comedy, that's Animal House, and I have never seen that one, so I couldn't put it on the list.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, Animal House was one of the ones I picked up, after, my mind was perverted with, all the stuff I saw when I was, 10, so I watched it later on. It's not on my list, but, But, hey, listen, there's a lot to choose from. So, yeah, I'm actually... You know what's really funny is, I don't mind breaking the rules, but the fact that good old Kenny here has got a movie... You said it's not R-rated, but it's a raunchy comedy as your number one?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm actually really curious to know what the fuck it is. So, yeah. Hey, listen, I'm trying to, do a catalog through my head, what the hell is raunchy that's not R-rated? I'm really excited for that. He threw us a curveball, and I will allow it. So... yeah, so welcome to the show, guys, like I said, once again, and we're going to be doing R-rated comedies, raunchy comedies, or in Kenny's case, a comedy that's not rated R, that's his number one, I need to know, but don't worry, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, folks. That's the whole point about the show. We got to work our way up from 5 to 1, and we'll do that in just a second. But, hey, if you're watching on YouTube and you want audio-only version of the podcast, link will be in the description below. And, hey, if you're listening on Spreaker and you want a video version, you want to see all three of our beautiful faces, then you can do that. Link will be in the description below. So, without further ado, let's get this started. We'll go around the horn, starting with our guest. Kenny, what is your number 5 favorite raunchy, R-rated comedy, whatever, of all time?
My number 5 is my favorite Mike Judge movie, and it's Extract.
Dude, Extract is actually a really good, underrated movie, so please tell the peeps out there why it's great.
Oh my god. I'm like obsessed with King of the Hill, so I love Mike Judge's like super dry, super deadpan delivery style of humor.
Yeah.
And Extract just fucking nails it, dude. Like every dick it's so good. And then Mila Kunis and what's his face? Jason Bateman is one of my favorite comedy actors too.
Okay. Yeah.
And his like comedic delivery style really meshes with Mike Judge's writing style. So.
Right. It's almost like Jason Bateman fits in like perfectly with the Mike Judge script.
Yeah, and even Ben Affleck is like.
Right.
I was not fucking expecting him in that movie. And then when he comes on, he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. He plays a fucking bartender. I see that movie like 5 times, and he still cracks me up to this day. Like, Extract
whips out the tin with all the pills and shit in it. That kills me.
It's so good, man. Like, Extract was one of those movies that came out in 2009, 2010. I forgot which year, but like, no one went to go see it, like at all. It was one of those movies that like flew under the radar. And it didn't do that well. And I've liked every single Mike Judge movie up until this point. I love Idiocracy. I love Office Space. But Extract is like a delicious slice of dry humor, and it is amazing. And the Kenny knows what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to spoil it. The ending punchline of the entire movie is pretty fantastic with one of the characters. I didn't really see it coming. I was like, that's pretty good, man. So, Extract's a great choice, man. I'm glad you brought up a movie that no one ever talks about that much. Brian, why do you hate Life and why do you hate Extract? Because you never talk about this.
I never saw it.
Oh my God, get your ass on that.
You gotta see it.
I'm sorry. There's too much. I do want to see it. I'm currently on a Mike Judge binge. Like, I love Beavis and Butthead. I love Silicon Valley. So I mean, there's
good.
Like, there's a lot of stuff like of his that I need to like watch, and mostly his films, like Office Space, the one you just brought up, Extract, and then didn't he do one with Luke Wilson that you talked about?
Yeah, Idiocracy.
Yes, that one too.
But Kenny was
really
asking
good if you're into politics.
Do what?
Idiocracy, that's really good if you're into politics.
Oh yeah, it's like the most relevant movie right now.
Yeah.
So sorry, I went off on a tangent. But no, Kenny was asking is Silicon Valley good? It's an excellent show.
It's very good.
Onto that shit, and Brian fucking blazed through it. So you know.
I'm not done with it yet. I just got back. I just started continuing my binge. Love it so far. Fantastic. I binge watched season 1 in like a whole day. So I mean, like, it's great.
It's great, man. I would highly suggest anyone out there to give it a watch. So, Brian, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is 21 Jump Street.
Shit, you're going with the modern one. Okay.
Yes. This is one of my favorite comedies of all time. I've seen this film numerous times. It's easily quotable. Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum are fantastic together. Unexpectedly, a big surprise at the movies. I was dreading this movie going in, and I loved it. I loved the sequel as well. And it's so relevant. It's so filled with meta. And Phil Warner, Chris Miller do an excellent job. It's very quotable. Ice Cube is definitely the standout of the film. And 21 Jump Street, I brought up this movie numerous times on the show. I think I put it as my favorite film based on a TV show. But I love 21 Jump Street. It's my number 5.
Yeah, I remember when I saw it in theaters, and I was super surprised, man. I was like, because you gotta realize at this point in Tatum's career, he did The Fucking Vow, he did Dear John, and I almost want to blow my brains out. But after seeing 21 Jump Street, I was like, dude, this guy's fucking talented. So, yeah, 21 Jump Street is a great choice, man. Kane, did you see, you saw 21 Jump Street, right?
Hell yeah, I have a really fond memory of seeing that in the theater with my mom. I
What? You saw with your mom?
Dude, I've seen crazy. My mom and I. That's like how my mom and I hang out. Sometimes we go to the movies. That's like our thing.
That's
I've
awesome, man.
I have some good stories with that, but when I was like he said, I was fucking dreading seeing it. My mom was like, "Oh, we gotta go see it. We gotta go see it." I was like, "Are you serious, Channing Tatum? This looks like
Yeah.
fucking terrible. This looks like fan service for an hour and a half."
Yeah.
But it was hilarious, and I actually liked the second one even more because of
Right? Yeah.
only because of the Ice Cube jokes in the second one. Though I thought they were just a little bit better.
The guy that
When we walk in the glass fucking his office, it's so funny.
Oh my god. Oh god, I need to watch that movie again. Yeah, 22 Jump Street might be one of my favorite sequels ever made. Like it's too good, man. So okay, so you guys went with a couple modern picks, and I'm gonna start mine off with the modern pick. And this came out when I was 17, and I saw it the summer before my senior year in high school. I still remember to this day. I worked at the movie theater. I walk in, it's a crowded theater. You know, everyone's really excited to go see it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm really excited to see this fat curly-headed dude and this skinny dude.
Wow, I know where you're going.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this movie's really good. I'm laughing, I'm crying, and I remember being in a theater of 400 people. When those fucking dick drawings came up, I remember there was one person in the bottom corner of the theater. I think they were cackling because it was like an absurd laugh, but I was like, you know what? You go get them, old lady. You go get them, because you know what? Superbad is a great R-rated raunchy comedy. It is amazing. Now listen, I grew up with the kind of like the raunchy comedies. They're all about losing their virginity and stuff, and a bunch of kids in high school having sex, man, and going to party. I didn't know what that was like, because let's face it, I'm a fucking nerd, and I didn't get to do that. But it was nice to see movies like that. Not only was the improv out of this world, it was the first time I got to see Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg write something. You guys know how much I just love me some Seth Rogen. And also we were introduced to McLovin. We were also introduced to Michael Cera in a bigger way than Arrested Development. Jonah Hill was put on the map. Bill Hader was put on the map. This is a movie that put everyone on the map. It's just a classic teenage raunchy sex comedy. Superbad is fantastic. It is just one of the funniest movies you'll ever see from the Apatow production line. It came out right after Knocked Up. And then after that, having them in order, I think it was Funny People, then Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So that was kind of like in the sweet spot of when Apatow was producing a bunch of stuff and he was directing stuff. So Superbad is my number 5. Kenny, you've seen the show, so if you have Superbad on your list, you can say pass, or would you like to talk about it?
I'll talk about it. I've only really seen it a few times on TV, so I haven't really all my friends are in love with it and stuff, but I've never really sat down and watched it. I've only seen it on FX whenever they play it, and
Okay.
it's censored, so I don't really get the full impact of it, but it seems pretty funny from what I've seen, and I fucking love Seth Rogen, so.
Dude, Kenny's my fucking boy. All you motherfuckers out there that hate Seth Rogen, dude, me and Kenny are on the side of love,
I
man.
was this close to putting one of his movies in my top thing, but I put it in my honorables.
Ah, damn. Actually, I really don't have a Seth Rogen movie in mind either, so it's not that bad. So Brian, would you like to pass on Superbad?
It's not on my list. I love Superbad. There's a poster right in front of me, and the big image is when Seth and Evan are on the ground, and then McLovin comes out and then flicks the cigarette. That's the photo that comes out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Superbad. And I also own it. I own it on Blu-ray. It's one of my favorite comedies ever, but I just couldn't put it on the list.
Okay, well, I hate you both, but we'll continue on.
But hey, also, like you two, I love Seth Rogen as well.
Oh, well, this is just a Seth Rogen love podcast, so all you fuckers out there that hate him, you can suck it. All right.
How can you dislike him?
Hey, listen, man. I've liked Seth ever since I saw Superbad. When I was 17, I was inspired. I was like, this guy can write, he can act, he is the man. And of course, I saw Knocked Up and 4-Year-Old Virgin prior, but Superbad was the one where I was like, he's a writer too. This is pretty fucking awesome. So yeah, those people that hate him out there, I get it, but whatever. So moving on to number 4. Kenny, we'll start with you, brother. What is your number 4 pick?
Mine is The Graduate.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's it's like I don't even want to like. You can't really go into the plot beyond like a super basic synopsis without ruining any of the jokes. But basically, it's a MILF seducing Dustin Hoffman.
That's the easiest way to describe it.
It's, it's fucking hilarious. It's when my girlfriend made me sit down and watch it a few months ago, and I don't know, when it first started, I was like, oh, what is this? This is gonna be some old like schlocky chick flick, but it was like it's pretty raunchy and it's pretty like straight to the point and crude for especially for an old movie. And Dustin Hoffman is really, really, really good in it.
I gotta give you props, man, because in our whole year of doing this show, I don't think anyone's ever had like that sophisticated of an answer with this category. Like we're talking about like R-rated, raunchy, gross sex comedies. And you're like The Graduate, and it's like, oh shit, he's sophisticated. Like we're not. Like I feel dumb now. So no, that's a great pick, man. I haven't seen that movie in I haven't seen it in a long time. But I remember I watched it on TV. I think one summer during high school, and that was like kind of like one of my first like movies.
That's like the perfect time to watch it.
Right during high school, and like it one of my first movies to where like I appreciated film, and I was like, oh wow, this is actually like a real well-made movie. So, Kenny, I gotta give you props, brother. That's a great fucking pick. So I know that The Graduate's not on our list because me and Brian are simpletons and we like a bunch of dick and fart jokes. So Brian, I know it's not on your list. So would you like to talk about it, or would you like to say your number 4?
It's Mike Nichols. It's a great film, like excellent film. I watched it for the first time about 3 years ago, and I just graduated from high school, so I watched it my freshman year. And yeah, it's a really great film. I haven't seen it since, and I do want to consider watching it again. I was gonna watch it after I found out Mike Nichols passed away, but I just didn't get around to doing it. But it's a really good pick. So my number 4 is a horror comedy. And I thought, why not put a horror comedy? Because, hey, horror comedies, for the most part, are really enjoyable in my eyes. So I'm going with Zombieland for my number 4.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hey, that's still a pretty dirty fucking movie, too. So.
It is a dirty movie, but when you look at it, like, from its look, it is a horror, dirty comedy, and it's fucking amazing. I mean, yeah, I saw this film like 5 years. I remember 6th grade this movie came out, and I remember was like, oh my god, did you go see Zombieland? Because you look just like that Columbus kid. Because at the time I had a massive amount of curly hair, and people were like, I'm like, wait, who's this? I'm like, first of all, what is this Zombieland movie? Because at the time I couldn't see R-rated movies, so then I watched it on like HBO or whatever, and it cracked me up from beginning to end. All the actors did great. There were so many funny moments. The introduction of all of them is great. The cameo, I feel like everyone knows the cameo. It's easily probably the best cameo in any comedy film I think ever. If people have any arguments, then I like to hear them, because that cameo, it's cinema. It's like a cinematic piece of like cake. It's like delicious. It's like a nice piece of chocolate cake. It's so delicious.
I mean, you're right, though, because like when I was in the theaters and that cameo happened, I was like, is this real? Like, is this not like, is this like a
exactly
it's so person? Like, I didn't think it was the real person at first. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was so unexpected, and yet it worked so well. And the last 20 minutes in the theme park are actually really, really thrilling. Like, you have no idea what's gonna happen, and yeah, that's the other good thing. It's really a thrilling film, and a horror comedy I was competing to be put on was Shaun of the Dead, and I really love that film like a lot. But I think I have more of a love for Zombieland because I've seen that one way more, and I saw it earlier. So like, yeah, Zombieland's my number 4. It's easily one of the best comedies of the last 10 years, and if you guys have not seen it, do yourself a favor and check it out. It was actually pretty underrated when it came out. Not a lot of people saw it, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I mean, it did fairly well. That is definitely, I will agree with you. That's definitely one of the best horror comedies of the past 10 years for sure. And another one that actually has a pretty good quote by a pretty awesome guy is Cooties. That's a great horror comedy. But I should stop plugging my stuff. All right, so yeah, I really like Zombieland quite a bit. I didn't even think about putting horror comedies on here because it does fit inside that kind of realm of like, you know, that raunch and that violence and stuff. So like, Yeah, I didn't even think about that, dude. I'm telling you, there's so many fucking options for this genre. Like, it's impossible to whittle it down. So, before I get into my number 4, Kenny, have you seen Zombieland? And do you like horror comedies and stuff?
I can't really speak on horror comedies. I other than Zombieland, I can't really think of any. Maybe Ghostbusters. Would that be a horror comedy?
Yeah, I count that as it would be like a horror comedy fantasy type of deal
Mhm.
thing.
Shaun of the Dead is an option as well.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, I liked Zombieland. I think I was in 6th or 7th grade too when it came out.
Holy shit, I feel so much older than you two. I was fucking 19 when it came out.
That's
Fuck.
what I am now.
Don't
But
say that, man. Don't say it.
I remember I watched it on the way to school and on the way back one day because it was like when I first jailbroke my iPod Touch, and it was like the first movie I downloaded after I jailbroke it.
Nice. Hey, man. Hey, as long as you watch it, that's all I care about. So as long as you get to experience it, it's all good. So, my number 4, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a huge fan of slasher films. And don't worry, I'll get to it. It's gonna lead up to my pick. But I love slasher films, and I grew up with like the Michaels and the Freddys and stuff, and I love me some Jason. And I remember my mom introduced me to the Friday the 13th franchise, and I've always been a huge fan of like that franchise and how it's just a bunch of kids having sex and getting chopped up. So, what is the spoof equivalent of that? I'm gonna go with Wet Hot American Summer, bitches. This fucking movie. It doesn't matter how many times I watch it. It is 15 years old. And it still fucking cracks me up. The humor is a mix of like dry, spoof, raunch, ridiculous. Like there's a fucking talking can of vegetables. Like that's how insane it gets. It's not a spoiler. There's a talking can of vegetables. But I like all the characters and stuff. It spoofs that genre so well and just makes fun of the cheesy cornball nature of those types of movies. All the actors do a fantastic job. I love the guys that were in Stella, like David Wayne, Michael Ian Black, and Michael Showalter. I love those 3 guys, and they brought this movie to life. It was one of their first feature films. It was Bradley Cooper's first movie. You got Paul Rudd. You have Amy Poehler and stuff. It's just an eclectic group of people that started out in Hollywood. That was one of their first ones. It's super funny, and if you like those type of kind of summer camp, it takes a huge dump on it. So I love me some Wet Hot American Summer, and me and Brian will both suggest the miniseries that came out. And
agree. And now they're making another one. They're making another one.
I'm really excited. So we'll go around the horn real fast. Kenny, have you seen Wet Hot American Summer, and did you see the Netflix show?
I'll have to take your word on it and rewatch it, because when I watched it a few years ago for the first time, I was like dying laughing until it got to the part when they went to the town.
Oh, okay.
And, I was like, the tonal shift and everything, I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I couldn't tell if it was a spoof of Requiem for a Dream or like, what the hell was going
The
on?
fucking drug scene.
Dude, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I just turned that shit off, but I might have to rewatch it.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. They're all fucking strung out in that hallway. There's like,
Yeah, dude, I was like, what the hell?
that part's so great. To Brian, what about you, man?
I fucking am so upset that I did not put this on my list.
That's what you get. You forgot it.
If we made a top 10, it would totally be in the top 10. I love this film to death. There was one period in my life, like, there were times when I would do my homework and I would just play this movie in the background just to help me, just for the heck of it. Like, I didn't have to pay attention to it. I could just hear it in the background. It's a fucking fantastic film, and the show was great as well. I mean, I feel like I have to bring this up, but one of my favorite gags in the film, and probably my favorite gag, is the break-in of the vase, like just the constant the pottery. It was like
Yeah.
like they would literally just drop like a banana, then you would hear the pottery smash down. Like it's just like you're just like what, but it's genius. It's genius. It's absolutely genius. I really hate that I didn't put it on the list.
Listen, it borderlines on stupid humor almost, but it works so
like
well.
non sequitur.
Do what?
Does it devolve into like non sequitur humor? Is that like what it was going for?
I mean, I think with like the whole like spoof nature of it, I think that's what it was trying to go for. Like it's really weird. Like it's one of those comedies that's like it's kind of a little bit of everything. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, like the beginning, I was like laughing my ass off. I thought it was hilarious, and then once it started switching up, It was probably because I didn't know what to expect that I didn't enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
I was expecting more of a straightforward ensemble comedy or something.
Hmm.
But I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, that's why these lists are subjective, and after 15 years, I had to put this one on the list. It is one of the best comedies ever made, faux show, hands down. But that, hey, listen, comedy's subjective, friends. Like, we're going to have different, hell, Kenny had the fucking Graduate on his list, and I feel stupid for putting Superbad with, you know,
Wait till you see my number one.
I'm really hey, that's it's you're teasing me, man. It's a great tease, but we'll get to that. So, Kenny, you're up, buddy. So take it away. What is your number 3?
South Park.
Yes, the first time we bring a guest on in months, we nail something in common, motherfuckers. Okay, so Kenny, hold your thought. Brian, we'll go to you. What is your number 3?
My number 3, I know you're already mad that I did not put South Park on my list. Okay, I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you?
You're always mad that I don't like put this at number 1.
If you
Okay,
want South Park, you gotta have Beavis and Butthead Do America.
that's PG-13. I couldn't put it on the list.
Yeah, but it's
That's true. My number 3 is an 80s comedy. I think it's my favorite 80s comedy, tied with Ferris Bueller. I'm going with Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Have any of you seen this one?
Yes, I fucking love that movie.
Chase, do you love this one?
fucking Spicoli, man.
Yeah, I know. You dick! You dick! He brings in the pizza, the shoe parent, that was my skull! I'm so wasted! I have the movie on Blu-ray right over there. It's one of my favorite comedies ever made, period. And, yeah, like, you brought up Jeff Spicoli. Sean Penn, how is that him? I have no idea. He was awesome in this movie. Everyone else did great. The soundtrack is dope. Damone, I fucking love that guy to death. When it comes down to making out, put on Let's Zeppelin 4 Side 1, and then they're in the car, Rat and Stacy, and they're playing Kashmir. Yeah, a great way to start a date by playing Kashmir. That's easily a brilliant way to start. But it has a lot of heart to it. It's actually really genuinely sweet, this movie, and it's, I believe the woman that directed this directed Clueless, which is another great comedy.
I was just gonna say, it's so weird. I didn't even know that I was gonna be like Clueless and this movie and some other of the like '90s movies have like a very similar like warm vibe to it.
Yeah, I agree. I was really surprised by how warm this movie was, and yeah. I love it. And it introduced us to Forrest Whitaker. The sequence where he's playing football and he goes like man, jumps and then breaks everyone's like bones and bodies and stuff. It's like fantastic. I love Fast Times at Ridgemont High. To everyone watching right now, if you have not seen this movie, there's honestly something wrong with you. Please check this out. It introduced us to a lot of people. Sean Penn, Judge Reinhold, Forrest Whitaker. Even introduced us to Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, the greatest human being in the history of mankind. Fast Times at Ridgemont High is my number 3.
Hey, that's a good pick, man. But yeah, that one's definitely not on my list. But hey, Kenny, we have this in number 3. So I will let you go first, man. So what about? Well, first of all, do you like the show?
Dude, yes, yeah.
Okay, so basically what Kenny is saying is that we're brothers from another mother, and we need to reunite soon. So South Park is one of my favorite shows as well. So going to the movie, first of all, when did you watch it? Because I think I watched it when I was like, I want to say 12 or 13, and I was pretty fucked up from that point. But just tell me about the movie and why you like it so much, and just why it's so special to you.
I am probably more fucked up because I think I saw it when I was like 8 or 9.
Oh God!
But I fucking love that movie, dude. There's so many great memes and stuff that came from it, and like the songs, the writing is amazing. And it also like I hate when I don't know. I like the Simpsons movie, but to me it kind of just feels like an extended episode of the show.
Right.
But to me, the South Park movie like feels like a movie.
It does, like, because a lot of people don't know this, but the Simpsons movie came out after its like 20th season. You know when the South Park movie came out? After, what was it, 2 or 3, right?
I think it was only one.
or even one. Like it was like fairly early within the series. I actually have to give Trey Parker and Matt Stone, which are a couple of my idols. I gotta give them huge balls, man. Like when you have a show that like it tests very well and stuff, it's super fucking risky to make a movie like shortly after your show is conceived. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I fucking love this one. It was one of the first ones I watched as a youth, and it has messed me up and whatnot. And South Park is like, not only is it a great comedy, a lot of people forget it's a damn good musical. A lot of people forget that the music is actually really catchy and stuff. So I really like just the irreverent, dark humor in it. I like the fact that it focuses on uncensorship, which is ironic because that show is all about like splurting out like the most dumb things. So yeah, I really like the music. I like the comedy. I like the animation. It just all works as a musical comedy that is R-rated and raunchy as hell. So yeah, that is me and Kenny's pick. Let's see. Yeah, we're on number 2. So yeah, speaking of that, guys, we're in our top 2. Now, Kenny, you watch the show, and you've realized that I'm right every single week, and I guess Brian's list. So, Brian, I don't know why you're shaking your head. So, we're down to our top 2 spots. Now, I know you guys are both younger than me, but I'm assuming that we all three kind of grew up in the same kind of era, to where, like, I think we grew up with the same kind of raunchy R-rated comedies and stuff. So, besides Kenny's number 1. So, I know there's a... Okay, listen, I'm going to take a stab in the dark. I think Brian's number 2, and we'll get to Brian after Kenny. Brian's number 2 is the 4-Year-Old Virgin. So keep that in mind. Kenny, what is your number 2?
Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke.
Holy shit, I completely forgot about that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I fucking love this movie. This is another one that I watched with my mom when I was real young.
Nice.
I was scrolling through On Demand on the TV, and she was like, "Oh, Cheech and Chong, let's watch that." I was like, "All right, Mom, what the fuck?"
Oh, man. Your mom's like the coolest.
And, she was like, "No, let's watch it." And then I was like, "What the hell?" You changed everything.
Oh, man.
But I don't know, the first scene where he's arguing with his dad while he's making a fucking smoothie, and then he just leaves, and his car has the fucking Rolls Royce thing attached to the front. And then when they're driving, and he's like, "How am I driving, man?" He's like, "I think we're parked." Dude, I fucking cry every time that happens. Or when the chick in the Vietnam guy's house snorts the Clorox or whatever it is, and she's like...
I haven't seen that movie in so long. Yeah, that's right. Holy shit. Well, okay, so I have to ask, since you've probably seen more of them than I have, is that your favorite one out of all of them?
I don't know. Probably just because I really like the thing with the weed truck.
Okay, perfect.
And the cop pulls him over, and he's like, "Oh, can I have a bite of that with the fucking hot dogs?"
Man, you gotta love Cheech and Chong, man. Like, all you people out there, listen, as much as I love the Harold and Kumar movies, like, Cheech and Chong was the original.
They're a total ripoff.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, they're still funny, though. But Cheech and Chong is the OGs of stoner comedies. So,
yeah.
That's a great pick, man. I gotta give you props on that. The Graduate and Cheech and Chong, Brian, he's gonna host a show from now on. We suck. Like, these are great picks, man. So, all right. So, Brian, am I right? Just say yes, and we can move on.
No, you're not right.
What the hell is wrong with you? So, what's your number 2 then?
My number 2, I feel like, is your number 1, and I could be wrong, but I know it's on your list.
Okay.
My number 2 is American Pie.
Eh.
All right, whatever you say, boss. American Pie came out when I was 1 year old. Obviously, I didn't see it then. If I did, then I would be scarred for life, but in a good way. No, I love American Pie to death. I love all 4 of these films. I don't care what people say. I think all 4 of them are fantastic. Like the theatrical ones, not those direct-to-DVD ones like the Bandcamp and whatever the other ones are called. Fuck them. But all the 4 theatrical ones, they're all fantastic to me. I just love these characters. Like, these characters I'm so attached to. Like, you can relate to all of them. Jim, Kevin, Oz, Stifler, Finch. Like, you can relate to all of them. They're all awesome people, and you want to hang out with them. And in the first one, it opens up with him jerking off into a sock. I mean, obviously, it's like, you know, it's the cinematic. It's cinematic master. It should have won the Best Picture Oscar over American Beauty. I'm just kidding. American Beauty is a fucking stellar movie.
Can you imagine if they read that on stage, just like, and the winner for Best Picture 1999, and they're like American, and everyone's like, it's American Beauty, guys. They're like American Pie, and they're like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then the clip they show is Jim partying as he's fucking the pie. Like, it plays like random dance music. It plays like Party Like It's 1999, and then they play that. It's like, oh, okay. But no, I love American Pie. There's a lot of standout scenes, like obviously the pie fucking scene, the scene in Jim's bedroom where he dances to Nadia looking at him. Stifler, everything was Stifler. The scene where Finch shits himself. It's like amazing stuff. I love American Pie. I feel like Chase is gonna have more to say if it's actually on his list. But yeah, American Pie, one of the best comedies I think ever made. I love the second one. Wedding was good, and Reunion was also very good. And I hope they make a fifth one. I want them to make one more. But although Reunion did feel like a good conclusion to this series, so yeah, American Pie is my number 2.
That's pretty great. I'm gonna pass.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
You act like you fucking know my list, dog. Just calm down. So before we get into my number 2, Kenny, what do you think of the American Pie movies?
I like the second one the most. I haven't seen the third one or the fourth one, and I've seen the first one, the second one, and then one of those random straight to DVD ones. I don't even remember the name. They like find a book or something, and at one point they're playing Russian roulette with horse jizz. So I have no interest in that shit.
Can you imagine? That's exactly how the pitch for that movie went. Hey, you know what? They fucking find a book and then they go play Russian roulette with horse jizz, and it's like, that sounds perfect. Make a movie out of that. It's like, what? No, go home.
Go home.
I didn't watch that one, so I'm glad I didn't. So, my number 2. Well, first of all, to get to American Pie, I relate to that quite a bit because in high school I like to fuck cobblers. I don't know why pies were so special, but you know, right. So, my number 2, I'm gonna go with the very first full-length feature starring Steve Carell, and I'm gonna go with The 40-Year-Old Virgin. This movie not only is a great comedy, but it's also a great comedy with heart. It's got a lot of raunch in there. It's got a lot of great characters and stuff. And I remember when I watched it, I was like 15. Because it came out when I was like 14. No, it came out when I was 15 because I remember Knocked Up came out when I was 17. So the 40-Year-Old Virgin, I picked this one over Knocked Up because I feel like Knocked Up is more like a slice of life with some raunchy elements. I feel like 40-Year-Old Virgin's got a little bit more comedic element to it, but it's still got that same amount of heart. Like, even though this guy is a 40-Year-Old Virgin, like, you still feel for the dude. You want to follow his journey. You want to see him score at the end of the movie, no pun intended. So, I like all the characters. This was the first time I was introduced to Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen, and, of course, Jane Lynch, and even Jonah Hill. He even pops up in one quick scene. It was the very first one I saw of him, and I didn't even know it was him until many years later. But it's just one of those like raunchy comedies that it's so goddamn funny, but it's got a lot of heart to it, and it's got a lot of great message at the end and stuff. And Steve Carell is just a nice dude in the movie, and you're like, you don't want him to fail. You're like, he's fucking nerdy, like all of us. Like, I'm nerdy. Look at my fucking the back wall of my room. Like, I love me some nerdy stuff. So yeah, but 40-Year-Old Virgin was one of those comedies that shaped me. It was one of the ones that really got me into Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen, all that stuff. So 40-Year-Old Virgin is my number 2. So I know that's not Kenny's number 1 because Kenny is going to give us a curveball, which I'm really excited to hear about, by the way. Kenny, what do you think of the 40-Year-Old Virgin?
It's pretty funny.
You're just like, yeah, it's okay.
I've only seen it like on TV and stuff.
Oh, so you saw like an edited version of it?
Yeah.
Ah, damn. Yeah.
The most I remember of it was I really liked his Indian friend or whoever.
Yeah.
He was. I don't know if he was Indian or like. I don't know. I'm being racist.
You're just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm being racist. No,
I
no.
don't remember his name. I have no other way of identifying him.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I don't think you're a racist. Brian, would you like to discuss this one, or would you like to move on? Because I have an inkling that this might be your number one.
It's not my number one, and I love it. I love it a lot. But my number one is the comedy I've seen more than any other comedy ever in my entire life.
Whoa, are you going to number one already?
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
Oh my, Brian, I haven't even switched over the graphic yet. Calm your shorts. All right, so.
All right, okay. Settle down. Settle down.
Well, speaking of that, let's go to our number one. This is it, guys. This is our favorite, like, raunchy R-rated comedy, but our guest is going to throw us a curveball. I'm really fucking excited to hear it. So, Kenny, you're up. What is it?
Mean Girls.
I did not expect that from you, but I gotta give you props, man. That's actually a pretty raunchy movie within itself. So
wow,
I'll give you that, man. I was not expecting that. And let me just be clear right now: if you're a guy and you say you hate Mean Girls, you've never seen Mean Girls because it's
agreed.
It's awesome. So can you please tell the people of the world that haven't seen it why it's awesome? Because it definitely is.
Tina Fey wrote it. Tina Fey's in it. And Rachel McAdams is in it. What else do you need?
Exactly. Boom, bitch. Drop the mic.
Lindsay Lohan's in it. Well, I don't know if that's a selling point at this point in time, but back in the day, that was a selling point.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. When I'm at work, like, I work with the most macho guys, like, in the world. Like, they're super masculine and stuff. I will fucking quote Mean Girls, and they will know what I'm talking about. I'll randomly pop out of my cubicle and be like, she doesn't even go here. And like, someone across the fucking room will be like, I know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, you're my boy right there. So, dude, I gotta tell you, man, that was worth it. That whole 42 minutes was worth it for that fucking pick, man.
I agree. I
am like, I'm super stoked that you picked Mean Girls. Like, that's fucking awesome, man. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Mean Girls, it's pretty awesome.
Endlessly.
No, Mean Girls.
Good.
Mean Girls is, I think, like a comedy masterpiece. Like everyone, like some guy friends of mine, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to watch Mean Girls. It just doesn't look like a cup of tea." I'm like, awesome. When you watch it, you'll understand why a lot of guys actually love it. And I'm like, I didn't expect to like it, and I really liked it a lot. I love that movie. Damien is one of the greatest comedy characters I think in the history of cinema. Like that character, like Chase just said, she doesn't even go here. Oh my God, Danny DeVito, I love your work.
I like Kevin G.
Yeah. Kevin G, man. He was the fucking mathematician wizard, right?
Yeah, the rapper.
Yeah. And then the one point where he like rips off his shirt.
Fucking talent show.
Yes. Oh man, dude, do you remember Lizzie Kaplan is in that movie, and one of her best lines in that movie is when the guy walks past her and he's like, nice hair, and she's like, it's your mom's chest hair or something like that. It was like the best quick line ever. Like,
she's like, some guy's like, nice hair, doofus, and she's like, your mom's chest hair.
It's your mom's chest hair. The fucking movie. Oh man, Kenny, I fucking love you, brother. Like, Mean Girls is such a great pick. Like, oh yeah, that's totally worth it, man. I'll let you put that on there. That's a good one. Brian, I guess the jig's up, man. What's your fucking number one?
Well, like I said before, this comedy might just be the comedy I've seen more than any other comedy ever. My number one is The Hangover. Interesting.
Okay.
I first of all, Chase, I'm really shocked that you did not put it on. You did not put this on your list because I've known ever since I've known you. You've always brought up how much you love this movie, how special it is to you. Like, I'm really shocked. But hey, your number one is still a fucking incredible pick. And yeah, The Hangover for me. I remember this came out when I was in 5th grade. In like 7th grade, this was when the sequel came out. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, The Hangover's so good." I watched it in preparation for the sequel. I watched it for like a good, like almost the entire summer. I would watch it almost every single day during the summer. Like it was something I would always do. Like I would do my stupid submarine homework, and I'm like, I'll just go watch The Hangover for the hell of it. So like, yeah, The Hangover, Cooper, Helms, and Galifianakis, they're all great. This trio, it's so unexpected, and yet they do a great job together. Every quote from Alan is amazing. It won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy. Like, that is something amazing. It should have gotten an Oscar nomination for Best Original Screenplay, because there have been many comedies that have gotten screenplay nominations, like Bridesmaids. Borat got an Oscar nomination for screenplay, which is crazy because I didn't think the Academy would like a film like Borat, and this one deserved a nomination as well. Everyone does great. Mike Tyson's amazing in it. His introduction's, like, amazing. There's so many quotes you could say. The police station scene with Rob Riggle is absolutely hysterical. When you first see Mr. Chow come out of the car trunk, it's hysterical. He's like, I hate Godzilla. I hate him too. Like, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? He's like, I lost a tooth. I married a whore. How dare you? She's a nice lady.
Hey, I'm going to say this right now. The Hangover will go down as a modern classic. It just will. And it's not because it made a lot of money, which it did. It's still one of the highest grossing R-rated movies of all time. It set a whole, like, pop culture trend. Like, it was insane. I remember when it came out in 2009. I was 19, and I worked at the theater at the time, and I saw it for free, and I also went to another theater to see it again and paid for it because my theater was sold out of it. Like, it was just that big of a phenomenon, and it felt so fresh and so just kind of new in, like, this comedy genre that was kind of like in the standstill a little bit, and it kind of just injected some life into it. And I gotta give you props.
No, I agree. It's, like, such an engaging movie. Like, it also, like most of the other comedies, it has a very good amount of heart to it, like this bond of friendship and stuff. I mean, the first line in the movie just gets me every single time. Well, watch it, pervert. He's getting very close to my shaft. Like, I don't care what happens in Vegas tonight. I don't care if we kill someone. You heard me. Like, just, like, that stuff, the execution, like, just the chill execution from these actors is just so good. And, like, that's why all of them own these roles. And I'm just gonna say it's right. I think I should brand the sequels. I like the second one a lot, even though it's the exact same thing. I enjoy it after rewatchability. Like, sometimes comedies that I see in the theater, I'm like, I don't like it that much, and then I rewatch over and over again. I'm like, that's actually kind of funny. Then the third one, sadly, I don't hate it, but I just think it's okay. I was so excited for it because of the tone it was going for, and I was kind of disappointed with it. I think I went in with too much hype for that film. I think that's kind of why I was a little let down by it. And, yeah, The Hangover, I think, might just be the best comedy of the last 10 years. And if you guys have not seen it, I mean, I feel like everyone has seen it by now. I mean, it's so iconic for only being a 7-year-old film. So, I mean, yeah, The Hangover.
I'm one.
My number one.
That's a great pick. Like, listen, I'm one of the few people that will defend all three movies. Yes, the first one is the best one. The second one is a carbon copy, but it's still entertaining and still funny. The third one takes this weird dark route that I'm like, I was super fascinated by because I love dark humor, and I love, like, when stories and comedies, like, take, like, such a weird route, but you're still entertaining and stuff. I love the whole mob aspect and stuff. So I really like all three of them. So, you know, fuck me, right? So my number one. So here's the story. My parents don't know about it. They still don't know about it, but I don't know if my parents watch the show, and if they do, congratulations. This is confession time. So when I was 9 years old, I went to my friend's house down the road, and his mom didn't really care what we watched. So we started watching some R-rated movies, and I believe the first one we watched was Blade, and I was like, cool, yeah. So basically that was my first comic book movie ever. There you go. I really liked it, and I really thought it was violent stuff. I was like, dude, this is so sweet and cool, man. And that's how I sounded when I was 9. So, yeah, man, what kind of other movies you got, man? And he pulls out my number one favorite R-rated, raunchy, teen sex comedy of all time. It is my generation's Porky's. I'm going with American Pie. I saw that movie when I was 9 years old, and it has shaped me to what I am today. If you think that's a lie, trust me, I was not one of those kids that watched South Park and stuff and whatnot, but when I watched American Pie, my mind was open to drugs, sex, nudity, language. It was open to everything. So I was like, I want more. I need it now. So American Pie, just like what Brian said, not only is it a great teen sex comedy, it's also a great coming-of-age film, no pun intended, but it is a great film of these people in high school, because we can all relate to that, of them trying to get laid at prom. It's a relatable story that everyone can kind of get behind. You can get behind the humor, but the most important thing, this is one of the best comedies with the best characters you want to hang out with. I want to hang out with Jim. I want to hang out with Stifler. I don't really want to hang out with Shitbrick, but you know, if he's a part of the group, he's a part of the package.
Eat shit.
Eat shit. You know, I like Kevin and stuff. I like Oz. Oz has always been like kind of me, because I'm a big dude. And I'm a little softy at heart sometimes, so I just like all the characters, and I really wanted to hang out with them as I grew up with them. And I'm with Kenny, dude. I fucking love the second one. I love when they go to college. I like the third one quite a bit when they have the wedding, and I even like the fourth one when they have the reunion. It is one of the best like comedy franchises because I grew up with it. It does hold a special place in my heart, but it's also a really good film. It's a great coming-of-age tale. Once again, no pun intended. It's a great high school teen sex comedy. It's a great comedy. It's just a great growing-up movie, and we've all been in a situation where we transition from high school to college, and I think this is one of the best examples of that. And I do really like Porky's quite a bit, and Porky's is the 80s version of this, and this is the 90s version of that. So I grew up with it. It holds a special place in my heart. It was the first, like, raunchy comedy R-rated movie I saw. I still like it to this day. I love the characters. I relate to it. It is perfect in my opinion. American fucking Pie is the granddaddy of them all and will always hold a special place into my heart until I die. So I know that kind of ended grim, but that's how we roll in this joint, guys. So before we get into our honorable mentions, here is our list. I broke it up into 3 quadrants. I suggest all of these, and it looks like Kenny here has got The Graduate, which means he's more sophisticated, and I'm a dumb shit that likes dick and fart jokes. But I do suggest all three of these lists, guys. I think these are all fantastic movies. Like, this is what's cool about all 3 of our lists. It spans from the 60s all the way up until now. So if you want to watch a comedy from that era, 70s, 80s, 90s, modern time, we got you covered. And I think all of these just kind of highlight every single type of decade, and when you get to my honorable mentions, you'll see they'll have some 80s and 70s movies on there. And speaking of that, honorable mentions. I'm going to fly down them really fast. Let me pull out my list here, my handy-dandy list. I put Animal House on there. Great 70s frat comedy. There's Something About Mary. Look at you. Clerks, Porky's, Step Brothers, Bad Santa, 21 Jump Street, Borat, MacGruber, Anchorman, The Girl Next Door, which is a great film, by the way. It's actually got more heart than most of these movies. You probably think, it's about a porn star, right? No, it's pretty fucking awesome. So Girl Next Door, check it out. It's actually got Paul Dano in it. Oh, there you go. And he was also in Swiss Army Man, so there you go. I tied that in. The Hangover, Hot Tub Time Machine, Road Trip, Euro Trip, and Sex Drive. That's it for my honorable mentions. Kenny, take it away.
I only did 5 or 6 because I thought I was pushing it by even doing an honorable mentions, and then I pushed it again by doing 6 and not 5.
So what do you got?
Beavis and Butthead, Observe and Report, Austin Powers, Clueless, Meet the Parents, and Bad Words.
Dude, I gotta give you props for what was your second to last one, or second one you mentioned?
Observe and Report.
Yeah, Observe and Report. A lot of people don't realize this, but that's actually more of like a dark raunchy comedy.
Yeah.
It's almost like the mall version of Taxi Driver. And
yeah.
you think I'm joking, fucking watch it and you understand. So I gotta give you props, man. That's a good pick. And plus Seth Rogen in that role, man, because that was the same year that Paul Blart Mall Cop came out. So it was the battle of the mall cops.
Yeah, all my friends were like, "Oh, go see Paul Blart." I was like, "Fuck that! Go see Observe and Report. It's hilarious."
That's fucking awesome. You should just give him the middle finger and walk off.
Kiosk every time he sees him. What does he call him? He goes Saddam. He calls his friend Saddam every time he talks to him.
It's a great dark comedy. It's underrated for sure. And if any of my friends suggest Paul Blart Mall Cop, I will flip them off, run away, and I'll be like, I'm not talking to you anymore. So, Kenny, I can't believe you're friends with him still. So, Brian, what are some of the ones that barely just...
I told you before we recorded that I don't have anything because I couldn't Dude, there's too many. I'm trying to look at my Blu-ray collection, see what R-rated comedies I have. The only R-rated comedies I have on Blu-ray, like straight up comedies, Knocked Up, the Cornetto trilogy.
Okay.
That's not R-rated. That's not R-rated either. Yeah, Super Bad. Trainwreck was a good one. That's a good one. Oh, Wedding Crashers is a good one. Horrible Bosses is another good one. Hall Pass I thought was okay. I have it like in a 4-pack, so it's included. Do you guys consider Wolf of Wall Street a straight up comedy?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
that's
really like-
all I have. That's all I have. Those are comedies. That's all I have. Oh, This is the End.
That's a good one.
I can't believe I didn't put that on there. But hey, listen, I went with movies that are like rewatchable and like I kind of grew up with. So, but this is
the five that I put are the ones that I could rewatch the most.
yeah.
And
No,
if I remembered to put Wet Hot American Summer, I would have put that on the list. But I mean,
It's all good.
I wanted a diverse list.
it's like you said, like it's hard to do. There's just so many. And speaking of that, are there any shitty ones out there? Please raise your hand. Please stand up. Slim Shady is calling you out. Dishonorable mentions. I gotta be honest with you. Most comedy sequels are awful. I've hit a bad string of them in the past few years. Like Horrible Bosses 2, I didn't really care for. Dumb and Dumber 2, I didn't really care for. It's just, dude, most comedy sequels are terrible. I'm gonna be honest with you, and that's probably where my dishonorable mentions will come in. Are those really kind of like god awful ones where they piggyback off the first one? I know I sound like a hypocrite because I like The Hangover 2, but it seems lesser quality. Like it just seems like very, very cheap. Because at least the second Hangover felt like a really nice cinematic comedy adventure. But when you look at like Horrible Bosses, which is a really great dark comedy and premise, the sequel felt like an SNL skit. Like it was just really weird. So, Kenny, is there any ones that like stick out to you that are just complete horseshit?
Not particularly, but I'd like to add Pineapple Express and Paul to my honorable mentions.
Fuck, man. Like, do you see what I'm talking about? There's so many fucking ones in this genre. It is hard to choose. I remember Pineapple Express. I was 18. I just graduated high school. I was, like, fucking ready to see more Seth Rogen, Judd Apatow shit. Pineapple Express was so goddamn hilarious. I love that movie so much. And that was my first introduction to Danny McBride. And I remember Red got demolished every single scene in that movie. He keeps walking around, getting hurt and stuff. So that's a great pick, man. So Brian, what about you as you fondle your microphone?
I can't think of any dishonorable mentions, but I have 2 honorable mentions as well now. Bridesmaids and Forget Sarah Marshall.
Oh yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Funny story, and I will let Brian talk about it next week. This is a really funny story. So I was a nerd in high school. I was in the band, and so I went to go see Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And don't worry, this all ties in. I'm not going on a tangent. So I'm sitting there. The movie's about to start, and I feel the warm air of like the popcorn and like sweat from other people. I'm like, I'm ready to enjoy this experience. However, the last 2 people to walk in the movie, I see my band directors come in and they sit down. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's see how long they last. And if you guys have seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall, within the first 5 minutes, we see some dong. So as soon as that scene happened, I was laughing my ass off, and so was everyone else. My band directors left. The very next day, I went to, it was on the weekend, so Monday I went to school, and I went to their offices, and I was like, what'd you guys do this weekend? And they're just like, nothing. I was like, did you guys see a movie or something? And they're just like, yeah, we saw Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I asked them, how was it? And they was like, it was pretty good. I was like, you fucking liars. I saw you leave after 5 minutes. So that was like super hilarious because I caught them because they were embarrassed by seeing Jason Segel's dong on screen. So, yeah, that's a great memory for me. So next week, Brian, what are we doing?
Next week, the most polarizing film of the entire summer will be coming out, Ghostbusters, and we are honoring the film's original star, Bill Murray.
Oh, man, that's going to be a pretty
awesome... And by the way, I'm seeing the new Ghostbusters on Monday. On Monday. So
Lord.
It's recording in 3 days. I see it in 3 days, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you have fun with that. So, yeah, no, I'm really excited to talk about Bill Murray and stuff, and I'm sure a certain movie that was on Brian's list might be on there, but it also might be spoiling. So I don't know. We'll think of something. So. Yeah, I'm really excited to do that, talk about a comedy legend, and also put some of his dramatic work, because he's a very good dramatic actor. So before we go and we sign off, can you just real quick go, do you like Bill Murray? Do you like his movies and stuff?
Yeah, for sure I do.
Nice. Hey, I mean, Bill Murray's that type of dude to where, like, if someone mentions him, you're like, yeah, I fucking like that guy. I would want to, like, chill with him and have a beer or something. So
yeah, that's what my girlfriend just said. She's like, I'd like to have a barbecue with Bill Murray.
Right? It's kind of like, it's like, Bill Murray, what do you think about him? Dude, I just want to have a fucking Coors Light with him, play some pool in, like, a seedy bar somewhere, and, like, get lost in an adventure.
Try and get him to come to your barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. Like, go to a barbecue or something. So, yeah, no, Bill Murray's going to be a really fun episode. I cannot wait. So, with that being said, guys, that's it for this shitty-ass show. I want to thank you guys for listening once again, and thank our guest. Kenny, what's up, man? How you doing? Did you have a fun time?
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, it was okay.
No, I did, for sure.
No, I'm glad you came on, man, because, dude, if you think I'm joking, go back and look at all of our episodes. He's literally the only commenter, and it makes us feel special, because it's like, there's one person watching us. This is great. We have purpose and meaning. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Do you wanna plug anything?
Not really. If you guys ever want to have me on again, though, hit me up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kenny's our #1 fan, unless someone can step up. But until then, Kenny's our #1 bro. So yeah, Brian, where can the people find you online?
Twitter, BrianSuts98, and on YouTube at Brian Sutfield.
Cool. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's @RealChaseley right here at the bottom. Go follow that. Subscribe to YouTube to get more updates on this show, Spreaker, all that jazz. And hey, listen, for the intro and outro song is done by my friends band Fervent Roze, and you can check them out. They're blowing up the house. I like their band quite a bit. And speaking of that, let's play that shit. R-Rated Raunchy Comedies, with the exception of Kenny's Mean Girls as his #1. Great pick. Let's play the outro music. Bye-bye, everyone. Peace out. That was a great episode. That was good shit. All right, we'll see you guys later.